I'm Stephanie Missons, canine psychologist from People and Dogs Sorted, and today I'm going to be answering some questions that have been asked of me from a student who's been asking me questions about clicker training. Strange subject for me as a canine psychologist, but I'll give it my best shot. Okay, so before I get started, hit that big paw print up in the corner, like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you hit the little bell icon, you will get a notification each time I bring out a new video. So let's get going. Okay, so question one. Question one is, what are you clicking for? And that's an interesting one. Now, this is my opinion, and in my opinion, you should be marking the correct behaviour, not marking the negative. So you're not using it as a dissuader, you're using it as a recognition of a positive behaviour. So something that they've done that is exactly what you've asked them to do. I.e., if, for example, you're teaching your dog to sit, and they've never done this before, then you tell them to sit and you show them obviously what to do. You do all the build up. Okay. Then when that time comes, when you say sit and their bottom hits the floor, the second their bottom hits the floor, you use that click. And it's designed to be a unique sound that they're not going to hear anywhere else. It's a unique sound, and in my opinion, should be used to mark a positive behaviour. Okay, so question two. Question two is, what are the benefits and limitations of clicker training? Okay, so here we go. There are benefits to it. They're fantastic. Okay, what happens is you are marking a specific behaviour, which means that the dog can link it faster. Okay, so you're marking that behaviour the second that they get it right, which means that they're more likely to understand exactly what it is that you're asking for. So it helps them to be able to put the pegs in place and learn that behaviour really, really well. The negative to that is that if we don't mark it correctly and we mark it slightly one side or t'other of the actual behaviour, then it can mean that the dog gets a little bit confused because they don't quite know what it is that you're asking them to do, because your clicks are not quite where they should be. All right. And the other flip side of that is that as we are human, and we can sometimes get frustrated, and we can sometimes use these tools in the wrong way. So I've seen people that are using clickers for negative association, so to dissuade a dog, and in my opinion, not the best use of the tool. Okay, so question three. Question three is, what are the limitations of clicker training or marker training? Regardless of what tool you choose to use, there are limitations with it. One of the main limitations is, where is it? So did you put it down somewhere? You need to have access to it. Okay, so making sure that you've got access to it all the time. So if you're using bottle shakers or training discs or clickers, anything like that, treats, you need to have them with you. All right, so that's one of the limitations. If you are using this as a day-to-day thing, it can be a bit of a challenge because if you're using it as part of your normal everyday life with your dog, having it with you is going to be necessary. I find that it's much easier for me to manage a situation when my dog is doing something that's really, really good, to turn and tell him he's a good boy. That's a good boy, right? I don't need the clicker for that. Okay, I can tell him he's a good boy, I don't need a clicker. But if I'm trying to teach a dog to do something very, very specific, then a clicker is a great way to mark that second that they get it right. This just makes training a little bit faster. So yes, there are limitations to it. Yes, it's not designed for every situation, but the situations it is designed for, it can be really, really clever and it can be really useful. Okay, so question number 4. Is the use of the clicker harmful to the dog's ears? It's a good one. Sound, our dog's ears are very, very sensitive. So it is important that we monitor what we do that might damage or cause discomfort to our dogs. In theory, no, it shouldn't be. But if you were to put the clicker very, very close to their ears, then yeah, it could be potentially uncomfortable for them. May not cause particular damage. I'd have to look into that a little bit, but as long as you are holding it where it should be about here or just below, but it should be to you, and it should be a click. You can hold it behind your back as well. It is to mark a behaviour. It's a marking sound. It's not necessarily something that the dog even has to see, and sometimes is better if they don't. So question number 5 is, when should I stop clicker training? Now this is something that is completely custom to you. So if you want to continue to clicker train right the way through the dog's life, then that is entirely up to you. Please bear in mind that I'm a canine psychologist, not a dog trainer. So my opinion is my opinion only. So as far as I'm concerned, start as you mean to go on. So if it is a behaviour that you want them to continue doing and you want to use this as a reward system or as a marker for the reward, then continue doing it. There's nothing wrong with it, okay? If you would like to phase it out, then phase it out. If it is something that you are considering teaching your dog to do, and you don't want to use the clicker really, but you feel like it's the right thing to do, try some other options. There's lots of other options out there. And I find that it's often best to start as you mean to go on. So if you want to train using treats, if you want to train using just the sound of your voice, whatever it happens to be that you want to achieve, start as you mean to go on. That way the dog only has to learn it once. Question 6 is, what behaviours can I prevent when using clicker training? Here's the thing, it should be designed for positive reinforcement, really. In my opinion, clicker should be used for positive reinforcement. If you're starting to go into the negatives, the dog can get a little bit confused about what it is that you're actually asking them to do. So it's important that we stick to one method and one way of using the tool. If you're going to use it as a negative, please be careful with how you do that, because you can actually associate it with things that you wouldn't even think were possible. You want to be able to get your dog to do what you want them to do, but in a nice way, in a positive way. We want to show our dogs that it's nice to do what we ask them and not threaten them with something that is uncomfortable or, or just not nice. So I hope it's been useful for you, and I hope it's given you some idea as to my opinions about clicker training. If you have your own opinions about clicker training, please drop me a comment. Maybe, hey, do you know what? Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe I've got the complete wrong end of the stick. And in which case, drop me a message and let me know. Let me know your opinion on clicker training and if you've ever used it before. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel before you go anywhere. Hit that big paw print up in the corner and hit the bell icon to get a notification each time I bring out a new video. But for now, take care.